So this is just a quick follow-up to that first video. I just got back from the gym, so I'm looking like a hot mess. But I'm just making this quick one because some of you guys had questions from that first video, and also I just want to clear up a couple things. One is that I don't hate Jehovah's Witnesses. I am not anti-Jehovah's Witnesses. I did not make that video with the intention of waking anyone up because I don't believe you can do that. The video was just about me telling my personal story. That's why the channel was called Tanom Jackson and not XJW Examiner or something. And if somebody who knows me from the past, let's say you're a witness and you happen to watch it, I don't know why you would stumble upon that video. You happen to be on YouTube, happen to be searching about Jehovah's Witnesses, which you know you shouldn't be doing, and you happen to find my video, and you happen to watch it all the way through. But in all seriousness, I want to say that I am the same person as before. Okay, so if you've known me from before, back when I was in the organization, I'm still the same person. Okay, if you want to reach out and hang out or something, I'm open to it. Just like I said in the first video, don't talk about religion. I have no interest in changing your views from being a witness to being a non-witness or whatever. I think a lot of times we tend to project, I know I'm going to go into different tangents on this video, but I think a lot of times we tend to project the way we see the world onto other people. Because Jehovah's Witnesses tend to have an agenda when they reach out to you, right? If they reach out to you and they say, hey, I haven't seen you in a while, there's an agenda behind it, right? So when they see an ex-witness talking about the organization, they assume that there must be an agenda behind that as well. And maybe there is for some people, but for me, this is just me telling my story. And the channel is about me sharing my life. I'm 32 years old. 31 of those years happen to be in that religion. So the topic of Jehovah's Witnesses will come up, unfortunately, until I've completely purged it from my system. And the quicker that happens, the better, honestly. The other reason why I don't believe in dwelling in negativity is that, and a large part of what I want to do is to move on and to grow and to develop into the best person I can be, is because I think the victim mentality is poison. Yes, we're all victims of this thing, right? I mean, and what we went through was traumatic, and no one should discount that at all. But at the same time, the people who are responsible for it, are they ever going to come back and apologize to us, right? Are they ever going to admit that they were wrong? No, they're just going to continue doing their thing while you're sitting there stewing in your anger. And I realized this when I first woke up, when I was in that angry phase for like the first month, right? But then I realized it was like dealing with a narcissist. If you deal with a narcissist, it doesn't matter what happened. They will just push it back on you and say it was your fault. They will never admit that they're wrong. And that's kind of how it is. That's kind of how my relationship was with that organization, right? When anyone leaves, they will say it's your motive. You were secretly sinning. You wanted to do blah, blah, blah. That's why you left. And no one wanted to listen to why I actually wanted to leave. It's also why many witnesses end up making videos, right? But yes, I don't intend on making videos reacting to videos from broadcasting or making fun of Watchtower articles. Life is way too short. I'm not going to spend time. I'm not going to spend time reading or watching all that stuff. It's a waste of time. And I mean, some people believe this is important and it gives them purpose, and hey, power to you if it does. Some people believe in activism. You would never catch me outside a convention site or going to confronting a witness at a cart. Oh my God. I remember being at those carts. They were miserable. Okay. So I have love for Jehovah's Witnesses because I was one. I understand what it's like to do that. Those people are victims of a high control organization, and they're just doing what they think is right. They don't know any better. A lot of them, like me, I was poor back when I was a witness. I mean, I'm rebuilding my life now, but everything you had went to the organization, right? That was first. And a lot of witnesses deal with health problems, emotional problems, financial problems. I mean, you know it. So I feel bad for them, for sure. But at the same time, you may say, okay, but then it's our job to wake them up. Wanting somebody to wake up is like wanting somebody to lose weight. Okay, they have to want to do it themselves. For me, it got to a point where it didn't make sense anymore. And then I went and did research on my own, right? Nobody woke me up. YouTube didn't wake me up. Sure, there were videos to show that I'm not the only person out here. And that was helpful to not feel alone. But me waking up and going through the process of examining whether what I was taught was true or not, that had to be done by me and by me alone. And I had to have had that desire. So just like losing weight, you have to not be happy with where you're at, and you have to put massive action into getting to whatever outcome you want. And I think that is the process of waking up. Okay, so I'm editing this now, and one thing I didn't say in the original video that I want to make sure I say now is that I think that we're all adults. That is the other reason why I don't believe it is anyone's job to wake up anyone else. Just like the weight loss example, it is your job to care for your own health. Some people just simply want to be Jehovah's Witnesses, and they're happy that way. And I've always respected people's autonomy. I don't believe in forcing anyone to do anything that is against their will. Even now, I work as a salesman. I don't force people to buy something if they don't want it. Maybe because that's what I want for myself and that's what I want for other people. Let me know how you feel about this. So I don't think you can wake anyone up. I think they have to want to be wake. They have to want to be woken up. I think that's correct. I'm sorry if it's not. And also from that first video, some people commented that they said the God didn't do it for his sovereignty. That's the JW Doctrine. I'm happy that a lot of people were able to find another religion afterwards and find something that works for them. I think that's great. I think we all, as individuals, we deserve happiness. So if you can find something that fits your personal values that works for you, hey, salute, man. I'm just finding this is what works for me right now. But you never know. I might get into other things. Somebody said that when people leave their religion, no one makes a video, but for some reason when Jehovah's Witnesses leave their religion, they make a video. That is funny. That is something that we've seen. And that's because it's not a religion, right? That's the reason for that. The difference between a religion and a cult is what happens when you leave, right? If you look at, for example, I live in Thailand. There's millions of Buddhists in this country. There's Thai people who haven't been to a temple in like 30 years. Their family still talks to them. No one cares, right? No one judges them for not doing it. But for Jehovah's Witnesses, if you miss one meeting, oh my God, it's the end of the world, because that's a high control group. In one party, you're allowed to leave and do whatever you want with your life. And in the other party, you can't leave. You're one of us. And a lot of you have asked, how's my mom? It's very nice of you. Thanks for asking. My mom is doing fine. She obviously did not take it well when I first came clean to her. But me and her are on speaking terms. I live in Bangkok here in Thailand. She lives about 7 hours northeast. So I fly out to see her about every 3 months to take her to like her hospital appointments and things like that. So we still have a very close relationship. I'm always going to be there for that woman to the day she dies. She raised me and she was a good mother. She did the best she could. And yeah, I love her. Nothing's going to change that. And she's also in a congregation where she has, people that she's close to, and that's good. That's good for her. And I'm about to ramble on because, that's what I do. I ramble when I'm alone with my thoughts, is that I genuinely do have love for them. And the thing I could say about the way I feel towards them is that my love is not conditional. It doesn't depend on what religion or what God they choose to worship. I love them for who they actually are. And I'm curious as to how you would define unconditional love. I feel like everyone kind of has their own definition of it. For me, the way I've always viewed it, well, not the way I've always viewed it, the way I've viewed it recently, based on just reading different things and just being introspective, is yes, all relationships are transactional, right? So there is a certain degree of condition to them, right? If I treat you horribly, you're probably not going to want to be friends with me. But when I think of unconditional love, I feel like it's about loving the person for who they actually are, their authentic self, and not loving an idea of that person. This was in the book Mastery of Self, one of my favorite books, and it talks about how if you lose a friend, it could be in death or, they moved away or anything like that. Did you actually miss that person, or did you miss like the idea of that person? And it really made me think about like even my own relationship, right? Like my ex-wife and myself. That was one of the things that helped me process what I went through. I know this should be a whole nother video on this. Yeah, like if I had moments that I thought I miss her, which I'm happy that situation is over with and I'm completely moved on from that now. But in the past, when I had doubts whether I made the right decision, one of the things that helped me was this question: did you miss the person for who they actually are, or do you miss the idea of that person? Because the idea of that person can be like, oh, I miss being in a relationship. I miss having someone to spend time with. I miss having somebody to go out to eat with. Because if that's the case, then that has more to do with like your own personal desires and ideas and has less to do with actually being in a relationship with that person. So yeah, why am I talking about this? Yes, unconditional love. Yes, to a large degree, to all the witnesses that I've had dealings with in the past, I still have love for them because I can see them for who they are, and I can see them with that, without that filter of your religion, which they are incapable of seeing in me. But hey, this is me documenting my journey. I'm only 6 months out or so, something like that. If you guys, some of you who are watching this, yeah, also some reached out to me that they were in the same situation in where one spouse woke up and the other one did not. And to that, I would say if anyone is watching and they're in that situation, I understand your pain. I'll say it is an impossible decision, and making the decision to rather continue the relationship or not, like that was harder than the religion for me. And I wish you nothing but the best, man. I hope it works out. I really do. And if anybody who's watching this is PMO, right? Physically in, mentally out. I was in that state for like a couple months. Those were like the worst times. And I totally feel how you're feeling. Should you stay? Should you go? What should you do? That's a decision you have to make on your own. You gotta weigh the pros and cons. For me, my motto just comes back to, well, this matters to me when I'm 80 and I'm on my deathbed. When I look back, how will I feel about it, right? But for you, you may say, hey, I look back and I kept my relationship intact with my family. And, that may be what you value. So who knows, right? That's something that you have to evaluate on your own. All right, this video I don't even know what this video should be titled. It's all over the place, just my ideas. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about some of those things. Unconditional love. How would you define that? Those of you who are ahead of me on this journey and you've been out for a while, what has helped you move on? Or maybe if you've woken somebody up and you're like, Tanom, you're wrong. I've woken up my cousin. Okay, well, share how that happened below. I would like to know. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.